Hello and welcome. My name is Art Fuel. I'm a Senior Technical Product Manager with VMware in the Cloud Native Apps Business Unit. And today I'm excited to talk to you about a new application we've released a technical preview called the vSphere PKS plugin, which provides direct contextual information about enterprise Kubernetes deployments on PKS in the vSphere web client. So I jump into my vSphere web client. You can see here I have a vCenter environment that has PKS installed on it. And once I've installed the new plugin, I can go to my menu and see an entry for VMware PKS. This will show me the list of PKS instances installed in my environment. And I can drill down into a specific instance and right away on the Summary tab, it immediately gives all the relevant information that a VM operator needs to help support this PKS deployment. I can see the control plane, virtual machine, information on how many Kubernetes clusters I've deployed, information on the network stack, and the key network objects that are associated with the core control plane health here. Now, VM operators can leverage all their existing skills as they have in enterprise environments. At the end of the day, PKS and Kubernetes are really just software that gets installed on virtual machines. And so like virtual machine operators have supported enterprise software for years, this PKS environment really accelerates that ability to extend those skill sets into cloud native and Kubernetes environments. If I click here on my control plane virtual machine, it launches me right into the mature vCenter environment where I can identify information and leverage the mature tool sets for troubleshooting or handling whatever issues I need to for this virtual machine. I'm going back to the PKS instance here in our plugin. Also on the Summary tab, as I mentioned, we see the network information that's pertinent to our control plane health. And say, for example, if I need to find information or do some troubleshooting for the core router for this PK instance, I can just click here on the router. It'll launch directly in the NSX Manager to that object where I can leverage the mature interface for identifying or configuring attributes for this router, or launch into the other proven NSX tools for troubleshooting like TraceFlow and so on, and really leverage the complete mature NSX tool set to support my Kubernetes environment. I jump into Kubernetes Clusters tab here, and I can see details about each of the clusters that I've deployed. And so an end user may request a cluster or call in for support related to a cluster, and I'll see a list of clusters here where the vCenter operator can easily identify the cluster and drill in to find out all the infrastructure and underlying information they need to support Kubernetes on vCenter. So we can find the Kubernetes versions and which operating systems that Kubernetes was installed on, what's the endpoint for the Kubernetes master for this cluster, and what's the hardware footprint, where was it deployed, and so on. I can see information. I don't have any persistent volumes deployed right now, but Kubernetes applications often depend on persistent volumes, and those map back into vSphere data stores. And so when I have those deployed, that information is right here in the storage section. And also for the specific cluster, I have a networking section which shows me cluster-specific networking information, how I configured this cluster nodes to use NAT or direct routing. A load balancer, logical switch and router get deployed per cluster, and I can jump directly into those assets here, as well as identify the master worker nodes independently. If I jump into the Nodes tab, I can see a list of all the nodes for this cluster all in one list. The system here shows me the name, a status check on their health, whether it's a worker or master node, virtual machine information as well, so I can again jump directly into vCenter as needed to help support this environment. Finally, I have a namespaces tab. With each deployed Kubernetes cluster, by default, you start with 4 namespaces, and quite frequently, you will have a lot more namespaces in a given cluster. We can quickly see the namespaces here, their health, and also when we deploy with an SXT, there's unique subnets and network objects deployed per namespace, and we can jump directly into those here. So to get the fling, you go to labs.vmware.com/flings, and you'll see the link for the PKS plugin. Make sure to check the pull-down menu here and download both the virtual appliance and the guide for step-by-step instructions. Thank you very much.